Hello, friends.
Oh,
Yes, last week's demo was a lot of fun. Actually, Clara came in last week, or just a few days ago, and made it, and it was a lot of fun. We made light catchers. It was very, very cool. Okay, so today we are going to be doing mono printing. Traditionally, when people do mono printing, they usually use a gel plate, and a gel plate is kind of a squishy surface. Oh, thank you. And this stays on ink pad. Oh, I brought it over. Perfect. Wonderful. Thank you, Jay. And so traditionally people use a gel plate for doing mono printing. A gel plate has a little bit of a squishy surface. It's usually about 1 inch in height. It kind of feels like Jell-O, but kind of a harder version of gelatin, right? And so what we're going to do today is we're going to do mono printing from a craft mat. So a craft mat has a little bit of a squishy surface, and a mono printing is where you create a design and then you put your paper down and you release the image so that you can see what it is. So what we're going to do is we're going to take acrylic paint. We're going to squirt some out onto our craft mat here. And I like to choose, when I'm putting colors next to each other, I like to choose colors that I know will blend nicely. Like I would not put these two colors next to each other because when they blend together, it might make mud. But if I were to put the blue in between those two colors, it would look really beautiful. So just wanted to give you that information, especially when later, if you guys wanted to make the craft today, you want to make sure to use paint that the three colors blend really nicely. Then this is a brayer, so it's kind of a hard rubbery surface here, and what we're doing is we're actually just roll it out like this. And sometimes I kind of scoot it over just a little bit to get more of a blended look between some of those colors. So we lay that down, and then while the paint is wet, then what you're going to do is you're going to kind of lay down like leaf shapes. So what I'm doing here is I'm actually doing it vein side down, because the vein side has a little bit more detail in it, and so when you lay on the leaves, you actually get more detail from the leaves because of that. So vein side down, we're just going to kind of pick some fun little shapes here. Oh my gosh, these are very cool. Jay just went outside and gathered up some leaves for me, just so that we would have something fun to play with here. And we'll reuse the leaves again and again and again. So I'm laying those down. Now I'm going to take my paper and I'm going to put this directly on here. What's going to happen is that the leaves are actually going to act as a mask. So now what I'm doing here on the back side of this is I'm actually just going to roll it on here. And what's happening here is that this is making sure that the impression is actually going into the paper. Okay. And because I want this to be kind of I want full impression across the whole thing, I'm actually going to do a little bit on this side and I'm going to do a little bit on this side too. Okay. Then I'm going to lift this up. I'm actually going to scoot this over a little bit so I can show you what I'm going to do next. We're going to peel this away here, and what's happened is that this acts as a little bit of a mask, right? So then I'm going to take my leaves here, and there's paint on them, and I'm actually going to match them up where they would have been on the paper here. So I'm going to reveal this, and I'm going to lay this down right here. I'm going to lay this one on here. This one right here. It's not going to be perfect, but that's okay. We're doing this on purpose. We're going to lay this one here. Oh, let's see if I can get, we'll see how that lays on. I'm not really quite sure yet. And this one will lay on here. So we're going to come back to this in just a second. But before we do, we've actually created a really beautiful design here. So this is going to be our actual mono print creation. And this is going to be a secondary version. Now we're going to take a blank piece of paper. We're going to lay this on. We're going to use our brayer. And now for the big reveal. Let's see what we get here. And so you get your leaf shapes, and they're kind of come out. You just, again, you kind of really never know what you're going to get. So mono printing is really interesting because you can get leaf shapes, you can get a variety of different things. You just kind of never know. So now I'm going to lay this on here, and I'm just going to put this on top of here because I'm not really too worried about that. Oh, actually, that's my design underneath. I actually don't want to mess that up. Okay, I'm going to take my little guy here, and what happened to me the other day was just going to fill up a little bit. So once I'm going to and this is, the brayer is making it so we can get even pressure across the whole thing. That's kind of interesting. I'm going to fill our leaves away. And there we get our leaf impressions. Isn't that beautiful? And so you get this really fascinating kind of look. And again, you kind of really never know what you're going to get with mono prints, but what you end up with are a variety of different papers, and the colors all look beautiful and all match together wonderfully. So then after we're done creating those things, you can cut them up and you can create like a little book if you would like. So we want to make sure that our pages are nice and dry. So if they're not quite dry yet, we'll take a heat gun to them. And since I have one page left that only has a little bit of things on here, I think what I might actually do is I might put a little bit more paint on the back side of some of my leaves here. And then I can do some more leaf prints on my page there. So I'm going to take a little bit of paint. I might as well just use my surface I still have here. And we'll use the same colors I already got. A little more black than I probably needed. I'm just going to roll on some paint to kind of thin it out. And then I'm going to take my little leaves here and I'm going to roll on paint. Whoops. Again, I'm doing this all on the veiny side of things.
And you can just put it anywhere on this one.
Oh yeah, if I wanted to do an
it's a
impression.
brand new
Yeah, yes.
deal.
Yep. So, yeah, we can do a variety of different things here. Since I have this paper over here that already has some color on it, I'm going to put my leaves over here, and I'm going to get some impressions of my leaves on this side. Here. This in between. It's interesting how the leaf impressions from my brayer actually came out on the page here. Oh, I probably could take these and actually, oh, let's see, not very much came off on there. A little bit. Ooh, that one is cool. Ooh, fun. Let me just do this again. So we're basically going to be making a series of different monoprints. You kind of just get creative with it. Let's see if I can lay this on. We'll see if this matches up exactly. We'll see what happens. And let's see what's going to happen here. Again, we just never really know. Oh, that's kind of cool. It's really interesting with that Japanese maple in there. Okay. All right. So then, once we make our little monoprints, we're going to make a quick little book. Hey, Taylor. Can you hand me something that you're not going to be very happy about? Can you hand? It's the rubber band ball. It's actually not glitter. And Jay, can you please bring me the heat gun? And also a extension cord. Okay, so we're gonna be making a little mini book today. Oh, thank you. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna cut out some pages. We're gonna do 3.5 inches. Much. All right, I'm going to go over my pages here, make sure everything is nice and dry. We don't have any paint. It is still wet. And then for making a little mini book, what you want to do is pick your favorite sheet of your monoprint. And I think the ones I've created today, I think that this one is probably my favorite. I just love how that looks. And then I'm going to cut out the center of my book here. And I want my book to be about, probably maybe about 4 inches in height. So I'm going to find 4 inches on here that I love the most. Oh, that's going to be hard to decide. Right here. 4 inches. And we want our final dimensions
That's so pretty.
Yeah, isn't that cool? And then we're going to make this by 9 inches. So I'm just going to trim off one little side here so we get this 9 inches wide. Then we're going to find a fun ribbon, the color that we love the most. And I grabbed a few different ones because I wasn't sure. I love the teal one, but the black one also look really cool. Then we're going to take, this is a little stamp that says happiness enclosed. I have a little piece of acetate here. Oh, hello, Linda.
Why do you look here?
You made it here! Yay! Thank you. And I'm gonna put a little piece here, about 3 inches. That's enough space for me.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, okay. A little unsteady, but here.
And then I'm gonna actually stamp my little sentiment here. So this is Happiness Enclosed. I'm doing it with my Stays On ink. This is a solvent-based ink pad. And I'm gonna stamp it onto a piece of acetate. So a solvent-based ink pad is going to have a type of ink that will actually bond to plastic. And I'm gonna stamp that right here on the very front.
Is that what this is here?
What? Acetate?
Yeah.
Yeah, the plastic here, this is called acetate. And so Stays On ink will bond to acetate, but it'll also bond to metal. So if you have something in your life that you're like, I want to stamp something on there, but it's like a really unusual surface, Stays On ink is going to be the best. If you get it on like your kitchen table, for example, you will need to use rubbing alcohol to remove it because it is solvent based. It also means it's waterproof, which is kind of cool. So for my little book, to finish that off, I'm going to use my little scoreboard here. Just so you were wondering, Linda, we did some mono prints today.
I
We used all
see.
some acrylic
Using
paint,
the leaves
and then we
to
used the
stamp.
leaves, and then I picked a little section of that I loved.
Nice.
Cool. The
Oh,
inside is
neat.
also solid.
What
Ne-
ink did you use?
That's actually acrylic paint that I
Oh,
used.
just acrylic paint, okay.
Yep. And then I'm taking my scoring tool here, and I'm going to score it at the 4.5 inch mark. And these ones here, I'm going to score at the middle mark here. So these are 8.5. So I'm going to do this at the 4.25 inch mark. So now all of my pages will fold perfectly, and my top page will fold right in half perfectly. This is going to sandwich right in here for my little mini book. And then for the top here, where I want to say Happiness Enclosed, I want to frame that out a little bit. So I'm actually going to use, I think I'm going to use my little ribbon. I think that's exactly what I'm going to use. I need double-sided tape. Jay or Taylor, can you bring me my double-sided tape roller? Yes, please. Thank you. Now, I've done this quick binding before, but you can make a quick book if you have a rubber band in your life. We're just going to double that up. Thank you very much, Taylor. Find a slightly skinnier rubber band. Oh no, all of these rubber bands have been very stretched. Taylor, he likes making rubber band balls. All right, so I found a good rubber band for the center there, and that will just hold my book together. It's just a quick little binding. You could, of course, use ribbon if you'd like. And then for my top section here, I'm going to take my little sentiment. I'm going to put double-sided tape on the top and on the bottom of my sentiment. And I'm going to stick that on the front of my book. Now, you can always see double-sided tape, but if you do this, you might be happy and you're like, nope, I can't see the double-sided tape, and you're great. But if you can still see the double-sided tape, you can take your ribbon here. I'm going to put, stay rubber band ball. I'm going to put this along the top and along the bottom. I'm going to grab a little piece here. Put this around. And I'm going to put this on the back side as well, and this will make it so that the ribbon stays in place, but it also frames out our sentiment on the front of the card. And this will just stick to the double-sided tape. And scissors and trim it off. Exactly. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom. And I want my ribbon to be the same length. And now it's going to go down here. Again, double-sided tape on the back, and that will also lock in the rubber band, so the rubber band doesn't go anywhere. It won't move. We'll bring that to the front here, and trim those off. So now you have your cute little mini book. This is Happiness Enclosed. It's using leaf impressions that we just made. Then you can tie your little ribbons if you want to close your book, but then you have a little mini book. And the coolest part about this is when you're finished, you can pull the pages out and add new pages in. So then you can make like a little journal. You could add more pages in. You could do different color pages, and it could be like a little summer adventure book, or you can do leaf prints like I was just showing you, and you can do leaf prints in your book as well. Okay. All right, friends. So you guys can come out for the whole week and make the craft for just $5. Get the hands-on experience. If you guys would like to join me today, you are welcome to do that now, and I will walk you through how to do it. Do you want to do it?
No.
No, that's okay. It's not a problem. It's never a requirement. Thanks for coming to Demo, friends.